Hello and welcome again to Let's Play Shadows of Bomb. This is Policy of Madness. Last time we finished up Trade Meat, except for
Nothing to it.
a quest that we couldn't get the game to give us. Come on. Am I invisible? There we go. I also talked some about Richard Dawkins, and I'm going to be doing that again today.
Whatever you want.
The thing is that illithids don't see invisible.
If you say so.
They have no capacity to see invisible, so I'm essentially completely safe. Kill the intruders, but you can't see me. Okay. Let's just open all the doors. Yeah, let's kill these things first. So last time I was talking about Richard Dawkins and his hilarious well, it would be hilarious if it weren't so horrible, actually.
Vita mortis careo. Vita mortis careo. Vita mortis careo. Vita mortis careo. Resi alia.
I'm waiting. Do it. Yes.
Plant a blade in your innards, I will. Vita. Your innards, I will. Vita.
Tell me all about it.
Plant a blade in your innards.
Insurgents, Soldier, Imperial.
Vita.
That's what you get for casting Cloud Kill instead of Death Fog. Alright. Nope.
Yes.
Alright.
Yo ocho de.
I'm waiting. Of course.
One of the drawbacks to sending a pile of summons ahead is that my summons can't open doors.
Yes. Tell me all about it. If that's what you want.
See, the regular mind flayers are immune to fire. They have like 100% resistance to fire, but the special Illithids don't. They also have an extremely high magic resistance. So really just beating them physically to death is usually the best, what in the world was that? Okay.
Is that all?
He somehow escaped. That's hilarious. Go back here where it's safe.
Nothing to it.
Oops. Can I?
Alia.
I'm waiting.
Alia.
You came walking. Okay, you were there. You saw it. That was funny. probably just keep him completely out of combat.
Yo, ocho, de.
Alright.
Spare no one!
Oh yeah, the Alhoun has a voice set from a fucking hobgoblin. I wonder if he has high magic. Yep. Let's do something about that.
Forward march!
Okay, let's just back up.
Spare no one!
Of course.
I hate that.
Spare no one!
Gotta be fucking kidding me. Really?
I'm waiting.
No wonder. Okay. So, Richard Dawkins has this idea that he expressed in words that, whoops,
I'm waiting. Nothing to
that mild pedophilia, whatever the hell that is, is not as bad as violent pedophilia. Again, whatever the hell that is.
Yeah. What? Tell me all about it.
And this, of course, is what we came for. Part of the Crom Fair. And a wand that we will literally never use. Random effects appear. Never used it, never will. But it is kind of funny. Let's level. It can be funny, I mean.
Yes.
And that's all there is to this area. He expressed in words that mild pedophilia is not as bad as
Tell me
violent
all about
pedophilia.
it.
And in doing so, he contrasts these two things. Saying that, I guess some pedophilia is not violent. I would disagree with that.
What would you like?
And I think a lot of people would disagree with that. But let's say, for the sake of argument, that there are two things like this. How do you compare them? How do you say that one is worse than the other? Well, the only way that you can say that one is worse than the other is if you're able to
Hmm.
compare them in some way. And like I said with the example of the earthquake, you have to have a standard. You have to declare your standard. In the case of the earthquake, your standard could be, the impact on human life. Or your standard could be how much your energy is released, as measured in the Richter scale, for example.
Nothing to it.
But if you say one earthquake is worse than another, and you're using one scale and I'm using another scale, then we might disagree and we might both be correct. So, in order to say that one type of pedophilia is for one thing, different from another, and for another, is worse than another type, you have to have a standard. Now,
I'm waiting.
the standard that people are thinking about, and what I have no
Whatever
doubt
you want.
Richard Dawkins is thinking about when he says stuff like this, is how much trauma is suffered by the people who are, subject to this kind of abuse.
If you say so.
But the problem is that you can't actually know how much trauma any particular person has suffered. There's no way to do it. You're running into the same problem. Who's that?
Of course. If that's what you want.
Oh. You're running into the same problem that
Whatever you
people run
desire.
into. You will never use that. And now our key is trash. So let's check the quest list. Oh yeah, we gotta do that. Okay. Let's go to the Umar Hills.
Is that all?
Just to get this shit off our quest list. Fortunately, this particular pain in the ass
Nothing
Nature
to
knows
it.
much of you.
this particular pain in the ass doesn't have too many steps. It's not like the Bard Stronghold. Everybody can teleport except me. Alright.
Whatever you want.
How can you measure the trauma that is suffered by two different people? You're running into the same kind of problem that people ran into with utilitarianism. Aren't they here? Nope. With utilitarianism, if you have a, let's say you have an ice cream cone,
What can it be now?
and you can keep it or you can give it to me. At least technically. The attitude and the clothing. My clothing is a cloak of or a robe of Vecna, so fuck you. And my attitude, I guarantee you I could slaughter every one of your people here within probably one round. I have a copy that was printed out off my printer because it was on my computer. Alright, so the other half of the journal is inside the ruins. There's no need for us to even look for it.
Incorrect.
Huh. Usually when they run into wild animals, they attack them.
What can it be now?
Not interested in killing the wild dogs. We'll just take care of these skeletons and be done.
Incorrect. Yes, just ask.
So, you know, if you have a... I wonder if we left anything up here. Don't remember. If you have a... an ice cream cone, you could give it to me or you could keep it for yourself. Then, according to utilitarianism, you should give it to me if I can get more good out of it, if I can get more happiness out of it. And you should keep it for yourself if the reverse is true. Guess we did. Okay. Well, sometimes this judgment is easy to make. You know, you might offer me the ice cream cone, I say, oh, no, I had a real big dinner.
Nothing to it.
I don't really want it. So you're offering it to me for free, and I'm refusing it, so I obviously don't need it very much. Or if I am literally starving, literally to death, and you're not, then giving me the ice cream cone is obviously the better thing to do, because I'll get more benefit out of it than you will.
Tell me all about it.
But in most situations, neither of those things is true.
Whatever you want.
You know, wow, skeletons that carry treasure. I don't believe it. What were they keeping it in? I don't have any pockets. Can we leave from here? Yes. You know, if I would enjoy the ice cream cone, but I don't need it, and the same is true for you, then how do you decide who would get the most benefit from it? And the answer is you can't. There's no way to judge my happiness against your happiness and say one of them is going to be greater than the other. That's a problem that utilitarianism has.
If you say so. I'm waiting.
And you're running into the exact same problem with trying to judge trauma. You know, how traumatized is somebody from a particular thing versus someone else. You can gauge the trauma that one person has against...
Of
The trees
course.
speak of your presence.
Justice is upheld. Whatever. I'm just in it to get this shit off my quest list. I would have refused this if I'd been able to. If someone suffers two different kinds of trauma, then you can ask them, you know,
If that's what you... Yes.
which one hurt you more? And if, you know, if you can ask somebody, do you enjoy vanilla ice cream or chocolate ice cream more? You can believe them when they say one or the other, you know, or they say neither because they actually like strawberry.
Whatever you desire.
People can be trusted to know what they enjoy more than something else, what gives them more happiness, or what hurts them more than something else.
Is that all?
Then.
Didn't really keep me busy. I'm all nervous. This is hilarious. William Bill Williamson. I must reiterate that no one was really to blame. At least that's what the wisdom of the courts decided. This kind of thing just makes me laugh. I realize that the humor in this game is not as high as the humor in certain other games, but it's still amusing to me. In which you are actually restricted from using the skills you've studied. Somewhat protected from arrest. Don't apologize. That's very practical. Nothing wacky about asking if you can use somebody as a reference.
Speak then.
It's interesting, though, that he's actually checking. Alright. Now we just need to waste some time.
Tell me all about it.
But when you're trying to compare between two people, you just can't do it. You can't do it.
Do it.
You know, when you go into the doctor or the hospital and you have some kind of pain, and they say, you know, rate your pain on a scale from 1 to 10,
Whatever you want.
they're just asking you to rate your pain against your own scale. They don't actually compare that against other people's, you know, ratings of 1 to 10. Because they know they can't. You can't.
Just ask. What would you like?
So, you know, Richard Dawkins' idea that you can compare Most people don't suffer, you know, two types of pedophilia. So how can you say that one is worse than the other?
I suppose I can extend you my hand, though I'll have to wash it after.
Don't know. That didn't appear on our quest list, did it? Nope. Now somebody, I brought this up on another message board, and someone who is not Richard Dawkins replied that you can make a generalization. That maybe it's true that you can't, we're just doing this for the saving throw bonuses. Our saving throw bonuses are quite awesome. Someone who is not Richard Dawkins came in and said you can still make a generalization. So maybe one person is you know, more traumatized by something than someone else. But you can still make a generalization. You know, that one type of trauma is worse. But really you can't. You're actually just compounding your error.
Whatever you want.
Okay? That's not what I meant to do. Well, shit fire. Really? Let's talk to him. Alright, finally. How have I managed to do no damage to him yet? He can't really hit me with anything because he's blinded.
I'm waiting.
There we go. Okay. Don't know what he had up. But he had something up.
say so.
So he's got a lot of nice stuff, especially this thing, which we already have one that I never use. I think this is trapped. I should probably get it while I still have my protections up. Nope, guess no trap. Okay.
Of course. If that's what you want.
How much was he worth? 22,000 should be? Yeah. You're saying, you know, I was wrong about you because I can't know your inner life and I can't know how you feel or what you think. But I can know what everyone else on Earth feels and thinks, and therefore I can judge that you are in error, essentially. And that's bullshit. I hope it's obvious why that's bullshit. If you don't and can't know how one person thinks and feels, then you can't know how the entire fucking world thinks and feels. Now, it's entirely possible to say that you do not endorse pedophilia, mild or otherwise. I have to keep reiterating, I don't know what mild pedophilia is. I don't think that this term actually has any meaning.
Nothing to it.
What are we gonna do? All we got is a stronghold shit. Let's go back to Watcher's Keep.
Whatever you want.
It's entirely possible to say, I do not endorse pedophilia of any kind.
Just ask.
And in fact, I think that it would be good if everyone could say that. And I actually think it's probably... Oh, I need the holy symbol. Okay. I think it would probably be good for everyone to say. And it's probably safe to say that everyone who watches my Let's Play, especially...
Hi, friend.
Okay.
What would you like? Yes.
Well, this little error should at least get the mage stronghold off our... I came to this area on accident. I intended to go to the temple district, but this works too.
Nothing to it.
I think it's safe to say that everyone who watches my Let's Play, after everything I've said, it's probably true that all of you who've made it this far
Whatever.
have can agree with that.
Speak, then.
I didn't say you sent me a message. Or I sent you a message. I didn't even mention messages. Oops.
If you say so.
Uh-oh. There he is.
Sorry, friend, but you've got a date down under.
Sorry, I wasn't much help. I sprained a casting finger.
He's an anti-magic fanatic. Okay. But if you just say out loud with none of the prior statements, none of the, if I say mild pedophilia is bad and violent pedophilia is worse, if you just say I do not endorse pedophilia in any fashion, then you're not using logic, okay? You're expressing a morality. That's a moral statement. But like I said before, you can, statements are not logical, because logic is a process. Logic is the process by which you, oops, where was he? Crooked Crane, okay, that's in the Gates District, I think.
If
Okay.
that's what you want. Whatever you desire.
Pretty much I'm just waiting for my invisibility to wear off. Yeah. My invisibility needs to go bye-bye so that I can recast it.
Nothing to it.
This is the Crooked Crane, right? Yep.
What else do you want?
You can use perfect logic, airtight logic, and reach a conclusion that is absurd if your premises are absurd. Richard Dawkins' statement, what? Groenkenaar, okay. Look at this EXP. Richard Dawkins' statement here has a lot of premises that don't necessarily make sense. But his conclusion that he doesn't endorse pedophilia, I can get behind that. It's just that he says he's using logic. He not only says he's using logic, but he says that the people who are having an issue with the things that he said are not using logic, that they are just emoting. How long does this last? Four rounds plus 2 rounds per level. It's a long time. Just recast our invisibility and go.
Credo. Incur. 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 I'm waiting.
So he claims he's using logic.
Yeah, just ask.
And he claims that the people who think that he's full of shit are not using logic, that they're just emoting.
Tell me, what would you like?
Alright. Is this our dude?
Soon's patience, not another one.
Then come to your fate. Yeah, long casting time is for real.
Vita! Played with me and die!
Alright.
I'm waiting. Whatever.
Ooh, what was this? Arrow of Dispelling. Huh. So Richard Dawkins' whole idea here that he is, you know, super logical and using amazing logic and everybody else is just emoting at him is already incorrect. But we also need to understand that moral systems are based on emotion. Any moral system has to pass what is sometimes called a gut check. You can come up with a moral system and proceed completely in a completely logical fashion from one side of it to the other, and then get to the other side and you end up with something that doesn't seem quite right. Take for example the utilitarian theory of punishment. Theories of punishment are kind of interesting. Why do we punish people? Why do we put, and by punishment I don't mean like spanking, I mean punishment by the state.
Yeah.
Why do we put people in jail? Why do we have a death penalty? You know, why do we punish people for doing the wrong thing?
If you say
And one theory of punishment is called the utilitarian theory of punishment, and it's kind of related to
Of
utilitarianism, but they're not the same. It's the concept that we punish people not because of any, you know, deserving
if
on
that's
their
what you
part,
tell me all about it.
but for other purposes, for larger purposes. Whenever somebody talks about deterrence, that's what they're talking about. They're talking about a utilitarian theory of punishment. You know, we punish people in order to deter other people from carrying out the same crime. And that sounds good, and it solves some problems that other theories of punishment don't have, or that don't solve.
Speak, then.
typo here. Fuck you. I have a cryptic word for you, and I may or may not know what it means, but don't bother asking me because I'm not going to tell you anyway. Fuck you.
You are welcome.
Alright. Now I think this is completely off of our list. Yep. Excellent. There are many different theories of punishment, and the utilitarian theory of punishment solves some problems that
Not
others don't
doing
have, or that others don't solve. Some problems that others may even create. But it's very nice and tidy. You know, why do we punish people? To have an orderly society. And how do we have an orderly society? We do it by
whatever you want.
keeping people from committing crimes. We tell them that if they commit a crime, that this X thing is going to happen to them, and we show them that this thing actually happened to other people who committed crimes, and therefore they're deterred from committing crimes of their own. It's a utilitarian theory of punishment.
Just ask.
But then you get to a point where...
Greetings, Your Grace.
Yeah, we met her. She's on the top floor. Wow. Wow. You know, we create a character. It says that women of the realms are just as good as men and can do anything men can do, but this really implies otherwise.
I serve this land regardless.
If only I didn't have to deal with this shit. You know, this is why we pay you, okay? To deal with this shit. Well, already he's a problem. I'm willing to buy Chanel off of you. Fuck you. It's little enough to me. Yeah. This is like 1% of my total hoard. Less than 1%. Half of a percent. Alright. I think we have one more thing that we have to show up for, and then Lord Ronal will turn up, and he'll have a fight, and then I think that will be the end of this.
What would you like? I'm waiting.
But you run into a problem with the utilitarian theory of punishment, because when you get to the end of it, you realize that it doesn't actually matter
Nothing
whether
to
the
it.
people that you're punishing actually did anything wrong. And so now you have a gut check. Is it right? Is that something that we want? Do we actually want to punish people?
Who are you?
Alright.
Whatever you want.
You know, here's our gut check. Is it right that we just, you know, punish people
you say
randomly? From the utilitarian side, it doesn't actually matter. And in fact, it might actually be more expedient, because then you don't have to bother investigating crimes.
Of course.
You just find somebody and accuse them. And let's actually rest.
If that's what you want.
I think it's been a long time since we had a nap.
Whatever you desire.
One of the things I hate about the Druid Stronghold is that you have to sleep in the grove in order to get all
Is
the
that all?
quests. And the Druid Grove is way the fuck out of the way. We'll take care of this, and then I think we'll be done for the day. Now the fact is that
Nothing.
you know, that's actually how our society works in some ways. Is that we just find somebody to blame and we punish them.
Whatever you want.
Is there something you need?
Why, Madoff is pretty awesome, actually, despite being a fucking coward. Alright,
Just
this
ask.
is not going to be a problem at all. This actually is kind of a problem if you have both the Ranger Stronghold and the Paladin Stronghold, because this and one of the Paladin Stronghold quests can occur together.
What would you
And I've had that happen, and it's it's seriously a pain in the ass.
I'm waiting.
But is that right? You know, is that moral? And the answer, of course, is no. Where are they? I think they're right here. No, it's not moral to just punish whoever the fuck you find on the grounds that, well, that means fewer people will commit crimes, you know, in the future. That's the gut check. If you follow utilitarian ideas, then it's completely logical to just punish whoever. But when you think about it outside of that framework, you realize it's fucking wrong. So morality ultimately is based on emotion, and to claim otherwise is
Whatever
naive.
you want.
Wonder if Death Spell will take them out.
I'm waiting. Yeah.
moral systems have to pass the gut check. Immanuel Kant came up with a moral system that he called a categorical imperative. The categorical imperative, if you are considering some action, the way to determine whether or not it is a moral action is to ask more or less what would happen if everybody did this.
If that's what you want.
They're very giving monsters. They're putting they're valuing this village much more highly than their own lives. So you know, you ask pretty much what would happen if everyone did this. One of the typical examples is, you know, is it moral to borrow money and not pay it back? What if everyone did that? Well, then it wouldn't take very long before nobody loaned money to anyone else. Because you know that you never got it back.
Is that all?
Well, it's a logical
You
contradiction.
wouldn't. I'm waiting.
You've now logically contradicted yourself because nobody can borrow money and then not pay it back if nobody's loaning out money. So you've reached a logical contradiction, and therefore it's not moral. And there's a lot to be said about this particular type of
Nothing
morality.
to it.
Is there something you need?
Everybody keeps reiterating like they didn't really expect him to do it. Maybe that's true. Maybe they didn't expect him to do it.
Whatever you want.
All right. But there's another example of what you might do, and that's, let's say you have a friend,
Just ask.
and your friend is in an abusive relationship, and your friend has just gotten out of this relationship, comes to you, and says, I want to go to Chicago, my mom's in Chicago, can I borrow some money? And you say, oh sure, you know, you give your friend some money and goes to Chicago. And then her boyfriend shows up.
What would you like?
I left some shit here, didn't I? Yeah, not very much. And then her boyfriend shows up and says, where is my woman, you know? And you have a choice. You can either tell him or you can't, or you may not. Now, according to the categorical imperative, you need to secure your own safety. You need to secure the safety of your friend. And you need to never lie. But now you're in a situation where you can't uphold all of those imperatives. You have to either lie to him, or you tell him the truth, or you tell him a version of the truth, which is that I know where she is, but I'm not going to tell you. And in one of these scenarios, he beats the shit out of you and possibly kills you. In another one, he goes to your friend's mother's house and, you know, beats the shit out of her and possibly kills her. Or you can just lie and say, I honestly don't know. And in all these situations, you have failed in one of your categorical imperatives. And so, you know, there's a problem with that. There's, you know, the gut check. It fails the gut check test. Because, you know, your gut tells you that a full moral system ought to be able to answer that question. But Kant didn't he didn't weight any of his categorical imperatives and say that one is, you know, more important than the other. You know, all of them are equally important in his view. So that's it for this time. Next time we'll be doing the next level, Watcher's Keep, more or less just to waste time, because we've got all of these Stronghold things on our quest list and we need to get rid of them. So we're going to do the next level, Watcher's Keep. So join me then. Later.